Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about how to keep your snail shell super healthy and free of cracks or deformities. It's really easy to let your snail shell fall into disrepair. I'm guilty of this myself, but I've finally found the best ways to keep your snail shell super healthy. All these points are super important, so make sure you stick around to the very end so you don't miss anything, and let's get started. Number 1, pH. I know it's not very fun to talk about parameters. I know we all hate chasing them, but this is the most basic things your snail needs. Your pH should always be above 7, otherwise their shells will start to corrode. No matter how good their food, no matter how much calcium they consume, their shell will deteriorate with low pH. Even if their shell growth is perfect, low pH cannot sustain their shell's health long term. Now, if your pH is above 7, this step may be optional, but still useful. But if your pH is below 7, here are some things you can do. Number 1, you can use crushed coral or aragonite, they're the same thing. Put a generous amount in a mesh bag and rinse thoroughly. Once the water runs clean, place it in your tank. This buffers your water to 8.2 and puts calcium in your water. While it isn't the most effective way to raise pH, it will help slightly, and buffer your pH water so pH won't drop or raise too quickly. This will be very useful once your pH is raised to keep it that high. It also puts calcium into the water, which is crucial for shell development. Number 2, you can use Chem Alkaline Buffer. This is very similar to aragonite, but in a salt form. This is not a chemical buffer, but it adds natural minerals to raise your pH. If you cannot seem to raise your pH naturally, this is the best alternative. Number 2, Snello. The most important thing to ensure healthy shell growth is calcium. It is the most important mineral that they need in their environment and their diet. That is why it is so important to have calcium in your snail food. Most traditional pellets or wafers aren't designed with snails in mind, so they're often lacking the proper amount of calcium. That is why it is so important to make Snello. Snello is a homemade snail food with high calcium and protein content. I have a video on how I make Snello. A lot of people will say that snails graze on their cuttle bones and that provides them with enough calcium, but they don't actively want to eat cuttlebone. As soon as I put Snello in my tank, all of my snails pile up and eat it, so I know they're eating an abundance of calcium every single day. Additionally, my fish don't eat Snello, so I know whatever food I put in there for them will not be eaten by anyone else. That way I know exactly how much they're eating, and I know that no one else is stealing their food. Number 3, cuttlebone and mineral blocks. Cuttlebones and mineral blocks are very important to have in a snail tank. These provide essential minerals and calcium in your water. They're also relatively inexpensive and last for a while. If you have aragonite in your tank, this may not be needed, but is certainly appreciated. If you do not, however, these are very important to add calcium into your water. As I have mentioned before, calcium is extremely important to snails and is the biggest factor in healthy shell growth. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will link as many products in the description as I can if you're interested in buying any of these things. If you found this video helpful and you want more content like this, please subscribe. It really helps me out as a small channel. And thank you to everyone who has already subscribed to me. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.